everybody, it's Saray from Art Creative here, coming at you with a new video. So today's video, I'm going to talk about why I decided to change my job. So it's a really long story, but it's going to be a good one. So I grew up kind of always wanting to know what I wanted to be. So the choice for me when I went to college wasn't difficult. I went in thinking, obviously I'm good at this, so why would I not be good at this in college? College and high school are two different things. In high school, things were easier. You felt like you were on top of the world. You were getting straight A's. I never really got straight A's. But you were doing your thing, and you were progressing and making moves, and you were on your way to, seeing your dreams. Graduation comes around. You leave high school feeling on top of the world. You enter college trying to major in biology. Culture shock. I went to a really big school. The first class I sat in, the first science class I sat in was huge. It was, if I could remember correctly, I think it was like some intro to bio course. So you're thinking, okay, intro to bio. I've already taken bio classes in high school, so how much different could this be? First mistake. So the quizzes, the tests, all of those things are way more difficult. They're on like another level of, I wouldn't say hard, but another level of information. So there's a lot of information that you got to take in, that you need to process, that you need to remember in order for you to, put it back on that piece of paper and give it to your teacher so you can get that A in your class and move on. So I was doing pretty well freshman year. Sophomore year rolls around. I'm still doing okay. I'm not doing excellent, but I'm still doing okay. So I get to the class that everybody is dreading. Organic chemistry. Huge deal. So I'm in the class, I'm trudging along, I get my grades back for the first quiz or whatever it was. I realize I'm not doing so well. So of course there's options in college. You can withdraw, you can finish it, but get that grade, that not so good grade that you probably didn't want. And in most colleges, at least the one I went to, there was a grade forgiveness program. So if you got a grade that you did not like in one class, it was only applied for a couple of courses. It wasn't applied for your all 4 years of your degree, but for the first 2 years, there was an option for you to say, hey, I didn't get this good grade that I wanted, so I'm going to apply a grade forgiveness to it to, help my GPA, make me look better on my resume for when I finally graduate and move on to the real world. So I didn't take that option. I just decided to withdraw completely because this was the first time in my life where I felt like, this is not working out like I wanted it to. So, I cried to my mom about it. I called her. I said, Mom, this isn't working. What do I do? How do I handle this? And she gave me a couple words of wisdom. My mom said to me, she's like, hey, this is not the first or the last time you're going to fail. She also said to me, if this isn't working out for you, change your mind. You're a human being. You're not a tree. You're not meant to be planted. You're meant to move, grow, and, inspire. So I was like, she's right. But she's right. She's right. She's right. But I didn't take the advice then. I kept pushing because not all things that are going to come to you in life are going to be easy. Some things that you want, you're going to have to work for, and it's going to be hard, and that's okay. That's what life is. So I kept it pushing. I kept on the degree. I stayed, and I graduated with the degree. Success, graduation, that's a huge thing. Something that they told us when we first came to the school, freshman orientation, was that this was a degree that was lucrative. You're going to make money. When you graduate, it's going to be instant. You're going to be rolling in it. I'm here for it. Sign me up. So once I graduate, I'm still expecting the same thing. Mind you, I graduated in the height of an economic depression. Yeah, so it was not like they had said. I don't know if it would have been what they said even if the country wasn't going through such major financial issues, but I don't know. All I know in my reality is I graduated into one of the worst job markets there ever was. Yeah. So I was out of a job for a year, and most people who have student loans, which I am one of them, know that within 6 months you get that first letter saying, hey, your loans are now due. It's time to pay us back. Did not have a job, could not pay back, so I had to put my loans in deferment. So I finally get a job, but it's not in the field that I wanted. I basically was working somewhere that I was overqualified for, but at that point, I just needed to start working and I needed to get out of the house, because being in the house is something that if you're in the house for far too long, you start to get more and more depressed and fall deeper and deeper into your rabbit hole. And that's not good. So I got the job, I started working, things were moving. Fast forward, I got fired from that job. The first job I've ever gotten fired for. That hurt me because I'm a person who is pretty proud and pretty excited about, who I am and what I bring to a company in case of my character. So that hurt my character, and that made me a little more saddened and upset about what really went down. So after that happened, I waited another year, and speaking to my friends, and my best friend in particular, I was speaking to her, and my birthday's in July. So the couple days before my birthday rolls around, I get a phone call. I got a job. Super excited. Let's go. And to top it off, it was in the field that I studied for. So I was over the moon excited. I get there. I'm filled with wonder. There's lights and stars and good feelings bursting on my side, and I'm feeling oh so great. I'm like, yes, I'm finally breaking into this world that I wanted to for such a long time. I get there, I'm working. Time goes on, I start to get a little shifty, a little antsy, a little ready to go feeling. You know that feeling when you've been somewhere for too long, or you've been somewhere where you're not really comfortable with where you are, and then you just want to go, you just want to leave. So I was feeling that at that point, and I was sitting to myself and I'm thinking, okay, God, what do we do next? So I don't even remember how any of this happened. All I remember is I was on a break and I went online and I was on some website. I don't remember the name of the website. I don't remember, but I started coding. And I was like, this is pretty fun. I think the first thing that I started doing was HTML, writing just basic pages, just, things that are like trying to get your footing and your bearings on it. So you're like, okay, this seems like something I can do. But I wasn't thinking about it as a career choice at that point. I was just thinking of it as something that was relieving stress. And it was. I was doing it on my breaks. Going back into work, feeling a little more together, a little more organized. So I liked it for that aspect that it was bringing me. So I wasn't thinking of it as a job opportunity, like I said, for the longest time. And then life started happening. Things started changing, moving and shaking. And before I know it, I quit my job. I left my job, not before I felt like God told me I was ready. It was definitely a thing I was battling with day in, day out. And when the day did come for me to be like, this is it, this is my last week, I'm here, I was still wrestling with it. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people go through. Like, even though you've made the decision, you've prayed about it, you've gotten your answers, even when the time comes, you still feel like, is this the right move? Should I keep going? Should I stay? It's comfortable. But the thing about life is it's always changing. It's always moving. It's always shaking. And nothing is guaranteed and nothing is comfortable. So even though I thought the job that I had, the full-time job that I had with benefits was comfortable, who's to say that they weren't thinking about letting me go? Who's to say that there wasn't restructuring going on and my position was no longer going to be necessary? Who's to say that the company was going to go belly up? You don't know these things, so nothing is really comfortable. All I knew is that I had to move, and I did. I left my job. The feelings that I had were beyond. And it really made me think about options. And it's funny because I'm a person who loves options. Like, if we want to go somewhere to eat, what's the option? Option number 1, option number 2, option number 3. I like to weigh the pros and cons of each decision. That's my personality type. And I'm also a super creative, super analytical, logical, sometimes emotional person. And I like to keep, options open. So when I left my job, I had this feeling of excitement and wonder, like, what am I going to do next? The funny thing about it is I always felt like at 18, when you decide to go to school and you decide to sign up for your loans, that you made that choice and this is the choice you're going to stick with for the rest of your life. But what I've learned is that isn't true. Like my mom said, I told you guys she was right. When my mom said that I'm not a tree and I'm not made to be planted, I'm made to move, grow, and inspire, that made me think, okay, like there must be something else out there that I can do, because there's so many things that I'm interested in. There's so many things that I want to try, that I knew that working in the biofield wasn't the only thing that I knew that I could do with my life. So then I started to look around and wonder, and I landed right in coding's lap. It literally was waiting to catch me like a warm hug. So I signed up to get a degree. Yes, I got one. I already had one, my biology degree that I had. And the war between me and myself trying to figure out if I should go back to school or not go back to school, that was happening. But I decided, hey, life is too short. I signed up to get this degree. So now that I am here and this is what I do, there are a couple things that I want to talk about. That maybe you want to change your career. Maybe you just want to make a shift, an inward shift in your career. Maybe you just want to say, hey, I just want to quit and travel. So there's a couple things that you should probably think about before you hit that